Yes, hello, hi.
Yes, hello, hi.
Welcome everyone. It's the strawberry full moon in Sagittarius this week. So the moon actually will go full on Sunday, the 4th of June. And it's your girl Rain Lawrence and your girl Amu Clarity. And yeah, we're just here to tell you all about the astrology of this coming month. So it is the 28th of May today, right at the end of May. And we have Pluto back in Capricorn for the rest of the year. So I think you may remember from our previous circles that Pluto was moving in and out of Capricorn, where it's been for a long time, and into Aquarius, and kind of back and forth until it moved into Aquarius for like 40 odd years in 2024. But first, we're back in Capricorn, just from now, May, to all the way to January 2024, I believe. So what does that mean? I hear you ask. So Pluto is this kind of dark, transformative, kind of taboo planet. So when it moves into Capricorn, it's about governments and institutions crumbling. Yeah. So we get this sense of the financial systems and the political systems and the health systems of different nations that have been like a staple throughout our lives, getting to the end of their usefulness, becoming less and less viable going forward. So for me, that's a really positive and exciting thing. So yeah, that's happening. Any thoughts on that? I'm just concerned that you can't see us. Usually you can see us in the top corner, and now it's just the screen. I'm just trying to work on that. Hang on.
I can see you on the top corner when you're talking.
Can? Oh, great. Okay, sorry.
And I think it's gonna be me when I'm talking.
You think what? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm quite happy about this. I'm quite happy about it. I mean, happy is a big word, but in a sense that I don't really support the system. I mean, we have to use it. It's better to use it, but I'm not in it. So yeah, you can follow.
Yeah, totally. And those of you who've been following us for a long time will know that I work in the birth world, and certainly in terms of the way that birth in this culture and in the sort of healthcare system where birth is placed, that's a whole hot mess, and the sooner that crumbles the better, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm all for the crumbling. So that's Pluto. But in other news, it's Gemini season. Woo! It's my season. Yeah, so we've got into Gemini season, I think, a few days ago. And it's a really good time for romance and interpersonal connections. Because Venus, the planet of love and art and culture and beauty, has moved into Leo, where it's feeling very comfortable, and it's having that confidence and self-assuredness that we see from the Leo fire sign. So it's a good time for love. If you're single, get out there on the dating apps, go to that party, go and do things that you enjoy, because then you're going to meet other people there who enjoy that, and you at least have that first thing in common. So yeah, that's Gemini season. What else we got? Yes, this full moon is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is cheerful and outgoing. They draw people to them with their kind of humanistic, compassionate touch. They're faithful, intelligent, forceful, and sympathetic. They're often like really good talkers and orators, very wise, often very musical. And Sagittarius has got a healing, liberating, adventurous, and exciting vibe. So this moon could be quite a peaceful one. I don't think it's going to be too jarring like some of the previous full moons we've had. Yeah. So yeah, another thing to mention about the full moon is that full moons are when the sun and moon are at opposite sides of the chart. Yeah. So sometimes that's very stark. So if, for example, if you take Aries at one side, which is impulsive and headstrong, and Libra at the other, which are more like considered and reflective, and they want to take all viewpoints in. That's kind of very opposite. Whereas Gemini and Sagittarius are actually kind of quite similar in some sense. They've got that whole oratory vibe in common. They each like to kind of wax lyrical on topics and be very high-minded, and they enjoy ideas. So that's another reason why I think this moon is going to be slightly less confronting. Oh, sorry, I've just glanced at my notes, and I meant to say about Pluto back in Capricorn. So it's also to do with business ethics and the end of immoral practices. Yeah, so big pharma, big tech, government collusion, the state of play in which governments like manage are in cahoots with big industry, and when they own the media, that kind of thing can also crumble when we have Pluto in Capricorn. So yeah, sorry, I just thought I'd add that there. What else do we have going on? We also have a Mercury Uranus connection. So what does that mean? Mercury rules Gemini, so it's this fast-paced, quick-witted planet. So it's a time of brainwaves and illuminating conversations and aha moments. So you might find over the coming weeks, sorry, my washing machine is just cracking over there, so I hope you can't hear that.
We can hear it.
You can, okay, sorry. So yeah, it's a time to like expand your horizons, widen your mind, shift your beliefs. If you've had a very old traditional values, maybe it's time to kind of open up to different perspectives, deepen your wisdom, especially to do with love, art, culture, and beauty. Yeah. And what else? Oh yes, we also have this Venus Pluto alignment. So like I mentioned, Venus is this love planet, art and beauty. Pluto is this dark taboo planet. So when we have this alignment, it's suggesting that you can now access, this type of love that goes beyond ego and artifice. Yeah, Pluto doesn't like anything wishy-washy or superficial. Pluto wants to get down and dirty into the depths of things, the real, true, darkest part of you. So it can mean that you can get this like archetypal love that isn't just like this transactional, I'll give you children, you'll give me security type vibe. It's a more deep, real spiritual connection that we can access now. So yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Hell yeah, that sounds all right. So yeah, I hope some of you get some of that. So let's take a look now at our specific charts. So we can see here that these are the houses that this full moon will be hitting. So if you know your star sign or your sun sign and your rising sign, you can take a look here and see which house this moon will be impacting for you. So Amu, do you want to go first on that? I know you're a Leo rising.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're also a.
So what is the fifth house about again?
Let me see. Fifth house. Oh, I've got this.
So fifth and eighth.
Yeah. So here it says fifth house can be entertainment, speculation, sports.
The fifth one. Well, I feel the creativity vibe, creativity energy. Like I recently started many creative projects, and it's like in a blink of an eye. There's no procrastination on this level, and house number 8. I would go to resources as well, because I use what I have, what I know I have, and what I know I can have access to, to build my project. Basically, I'm being resourceful. Yeah,
nice. And I feel like, I don't know, fifth house. So on here it says something different. In my book, it has romance, creativity, kids, pursuit of pleasure and love affairs. So I feel like you have had quite a few like suitors lately, haven't you? It seems like everybody is on that tip of like searching for somebody a partner or someone to hang out with or someone to take to that show. You know, it does seem like a time where people are more open to dating and interacting.
It's true.
Yeah. And this is, so it also
But
says,
when you think about it, it's something.
yeah, exactly. I think it's just a
It's spring, like summer is right here. So it's,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
everybody
blooming. Everything is blooming. It's like,
everybody wants to get laid for the summer.
right.
And so for me, I have Gemini. So if I go back to that slide, Gemini is going to be impacted in the 7th house, which is your lovers, your spouse, and your ex, open enemies, any sort of partner, including business partners, cooperation, and competition. So I do feel like, that's interesting. Certainly, I'm like really keen to get a relationship now, and I have been active on Bumble and just approaching people when I see them, and you know, taking that opportunity when it arises. So I'd say that that is definitely some 7th house energy there, but also like open enemies. I've been having a little bit of that going on. So somebody who works in the same industry as I do, we had a falling out, and we're still kind of, the shockwaves from that falling out are still kind of resonating for both of us. And I just want to draw a line on it and move on and not speak with that person again. But they're kind of being quite forceful in trying to get us back on track, or to like,
Intrusive.
yeah, they're really keen to mediate, but I'm just like, nah, I'd rather cut ties and just, you know, call it a day. But yeah, that's fine. So 7th house, and then I also have Sagittarius, which is 1st house. Okay, yeah, and I see that because the 1st house, of course, is about your appearance and image and self-identity and how you come across to others. So I feel like in the dating game, you necessarily have to kind of put your best foot forward, don't you? Like, you don't just tell everyone your deepest, darkest secrets the minute you meet. You want to like put that kind of marketplace facade out a little bit to start off with, at least. And I was recently feeling a bit glum about my locks, because I mean, you probably remember this from years ago when you began, but there's a point where you're a bit like, oh, you know, was this the right thing? Because dreadlocks isn't something you just wake up one day and have, you know, you have to go on a journey, and sometimes you're going to love it and sometimes you're not going to love it. And I was having like a little couple weeks of not loving it, and I was like, oh no, like maybe I want my curls back. But I had a little glow up. Yeah, sometimes it happens, but I'm happy with them now. I think they just got messy, and then when I like spent a little bit of money and, you know, took that time for self-care, had somebody treat it nice, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't just throw the towel in because I was having a bad week, you know. So it's good. I think it is a good, like, it shows commitment, doesn't it, locks? It shows dedication. It shows that you can kind of weather a storm. And
Yeah, but you will realize over time, you will realize as well that your state of mind and your environment have an effect on your hair as well. It's not only oh, they're growing, so there's frizz. More when you have more humidity, you're gonna have more frizz. When it's dry, your hair is dry. You understand? When you don't eat well, there's an effect on your hair. So if you take care of yourself, if you're aware of your environment, this will help too.
Yeah, and that's part of what I love about locks. It's like they, you know, they stay with you, so they hold all that energy of everything you've endured and overcome and like enjoyed, and yeah, it's beautiful, really. So yeah, I think it's the sort of thing where it's the sort of style you can't hide anything, you know what I mean? It's, yeah, like you say, it's going to show up. Whereas if you just cut it off or shampoo it, you can just kind of pretend, la la, got the look, everything's fine.
Or wear a wig.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's what was making me glum, because I was hiding by putting those fake ones, by tying those fake ones in. I didn't really start my journey. But then I was like, do you know what? This don't feel right. It's itchy. It's this like synthetic crap all around me all day and night. So once I took them out, it's like I'm really starting my locks journey, even though I actually started in October. So I started to feel all that like hesitancy and like uncertainty and having a thing. But yeah, I'm moving through it. So yeah. All right, this isn't about hair. This is supposed to be cool. So yeah, I do think 1st and 7th are definitely moving for me. What else do we have here? Yes, we're going to move on to a little ceremonial aspect of the event. So I've asked us to come up with the three people you're most grateful for, the 3 places that you're most grateful to have visited, and the 3 things in your life you're most grateful for. So if you would like to, I know it's absolutely fine, you don't have to, no obligation, you can share yours, and I'll share mine. So the 3 people that I'm most grateful.
I can do one of each.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a little personal, so yeah, whichever you feel comfortable with. So I have the 3 people that I'm most grateful for. Who do you think is going to be number 1? It could be you, or it could be. Actually, I'm gonna switch it up. So one of them is
Baby boy.
Onyx, precious Orion. Yeah. So Onyx, yeah, I just put because he gives me a reason to live and prosper, you know, like before you have children, you can kind of just be okay and mediocre. But then once you have kids, you're like, oh, you know, everything you do and are and be, it's like, is that enough? Is that going to represent to him well enough? So I'm like, no, you need to really flipping step up your game. And then I've put Judy. I was thinking, why are you not here? But you're in the other bit. Judy Osborne, because without her, Onyx would have been kidnapped. And then I put Llewellyn Osborne, who's my mum's husband, because without him, my mum wouldn't be okay, and therefore Onyx wouldn't be okay, and therefore I wouldn't be okay. So it's like a big interconnected familial thing. And then I put, which 3 places are you most grateful to visit? I put Jamaica because I met Amu and realized what it's about. Yeah, so I met Amu and we've remained friends, of course. And also just like, for me, going to Jamaica, even though I left it till like my mid-30s, which was insane, it did really teach me where I've come from, you know, like without you know, I always knew I was Jamaican, but without actually going and knowing, starting to know. I mean, I only was there for 9 months, so I don't know it completely, but I know a little more of it now. So yeah, it's just kind of given me this more strong sense of self by knowing the place. And then I put Wolverhampton because I'm going to be moving there, so it gives me this new start. It gives me the ability to start afresh. And Leeds because that's where I studied, and I feel like going to university there really like helped me grow as a person, because it was the first time I lived away from home. No, it was the second time I lived away from home, but I was kind of like a bit more mature by that stage. And then the 3 things I'm most grateful for: my flat, Onyx's cot, because otherwise where would he sleep, and my brain, because it can do anything. Okay, go for it.
I love it.
It's a nice one, isn't it?
I'm gonna go 1-1-1.
Sure, that's fine.
So one of the person I'm most grateful for is you. Mm-hmm. It's actually the only name I have on my on my thing.
This is just a little love fest for me and you. I love it.
Yeah, but I mean it's true. Like I'm truly grateful. Like I remember when we first met. It's like, you know, oh hi, how do you do? What do you do? And like we were literally walking on the street and you were hyping me up so much and you were telling everyone like, oh, she does this, oh, she's a tarot reader, oh, and I was like, yo, it's like you're even more proud than I am.
Yeah, like
you
private
so
woman.
much power. That's crazy. Like you're my favorite cheerleader, literally. Like you're my big sister. I love you.
Stop.
All right, next, because I don't want to cry.
Yeah, please move on.
Favorite place? Well, Jamaica. Can't go out of it. Before I reached Jamaica, when I was living in Canada, I always felt like I was the kind of person that think outside the box, and I'm creative and I have different idea and I don't conformate. And when I first reached Jamaica, I felt in a box for the first time, and I was like, what? Like, people are so creative and people are so resourceful here. Like, they do so much with nothing. And at one point, I got forced to do so much with nothing, and it just enlightened me about the fact that you don't need anything because you have everything. Literally. Yeah. And one thing that I'm grateful for. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just thinking there's that phrase, what is it? Something is the mother of invention. Necessity is the mother of invention. And I feel like that just sums Jamaica up. Yeah, they just do what they got to do to make it happen. And I love that.
Yeah. Yo, I mean, I didn't have water in my house for, I want to say, months. Like, it was weeks. I had to go behind like the neighbor's house with my buckets and fill them up. And like, yo, it wasn't fun, but it was an experience. And I mean, I survived and I'm still here. So
yeah, and it strips back.
And one of the things.
What's really important, you know. That's
One of the things I'm grateful for is be able to be here, like.
Yeah, man.
Because of the decision I took. Because I mean, I hear all the time, oh, you're so lucky you live in Jamaica. I'm not lucky. First of all, life is hard. And second of all, I work really hard to be able to come here, and I work even harder to be able to stay here. So it's not luck, it's hard work, and I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, you see the expats dropping like flies, and like, you know, they can't cope, and they're gonna leave and go to the next place or run back home. And it's fair enough, because it is hard, but you have stuck it out. You know, you've had what's it called, not customs, but like citizenship issues and money issues and housing issues, but you're just like, I am here and I'm staying. So yeah, fair play to you.
Yeah.
Just like determined. Love it.
Right.
What else do we have here? Okay, yeah, so this was something interesting I read about. So this moon is conjunct the Great Attractor. So the Great Attractor is this, I think it might be a black hole, and it basically just sucks galaxies into its gravitational pull. And it is at 14 degrees of Sagittarius, and so is this moon. So especially for those who have anything at 14 degrees of Sagittarius, I don't. I looked, I've got something at like 24 and something at 0, but nothing right there at 14. They might find that they are able to like have this precognition. So they might have seen everything come in, or be able to predict the next trend, or they just have this insight into the future that others don't. And this Great Attractor also represents the dissolution of linear time. And I feel like I've felt that. So like, yeah, time doesn't seem to be, oh, I hope I didn't lose Amu. If I did, she'll pop back in soon, I'm sure. Time doesn't seem to be operating in the way that it usually does. Like, for me at least, you might be like, what are you talking about? Or you might be able to resonate, and that's fine. Either way, just don't come for me in the comments. Yeah, it just feels like a month can feel like a day, and a day can feel like a year, depending on what's been going on, or depending at what point you're looking back or forward. So yeah, that would be probably down to this Great Attractor that is hitting in the same spot as this new moon, full moon, sorry. What else do we have? Yeah, and it's also square to a dwarf planet, Orcus. And now Orcus was the god of the underworld, and he punishes lawbreakers. So this very much links for me with the idea of the Pluto and Capricorn thing, whereby all of this corruption and immorality and inequality and inequity is not happening anymore because of Orcus and because of Pluto, and it's astrologically ordained that like, nah, this run no more. So that's something to look forward to, I think. Yeah, because I feel like the truther community can start to feel a bit depressed or disheartened when they feel like, oh, you know, they're so powerful and they have all these resources and they've gotten to this point where we may be defeated. But I think actually when you look at the astrology, we have that on our side at least. So don't be downhearted. Don't permit yourself to go marauding through your brain of like the worst case scenario and what if they do win and what about this and Prism Planet and CBDCs. Like, they won't win because we are we have the astrology on our side. Amu's back. Sorry, darling, did you lose connection or something? You okay?
No, my phone was too hot. I had to put it in the freezer.
You see, some of the perks of Jamaica, at least you get the good weather. Your phone can't.
Yeah.
So we've also got dwarf planet Varuna is conjunct Mars. And what does that mean exactly? So again, this is a similar vibe to the moon square to the dwarf planet Orcus. So the planet Varuna is a supreme lawkeeper. So this idea of like the scales of justice, but kind of on a galactical level, whereby there's some certain things that just are too awful and immoral to let stand. So dwarf planet Varuna comes in as like a cosmic supreme lawkeeper, just says, no more of that. We can't go down that path because it's too terrible for humanity. So yeah, have heart. We will not be taking it there. The worst place scenario that you can think of, we don't go there. All right, so we've got another, you guys are getting treated this week to a second little ceremony. So I was talking to Amu earlier in the week about this. It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. So if you'd like to learn more about that, just stick that into YouTube or Google, Access Consciousness. And it has this kind of verbal reasoning part of it. So we'll just do like a few minutes of that and then we'll bid you farewell. Because on the 23rd of March, we entered this portal to greater divinity and dimensionality. So it basically opened up and said, there are infinite dimensions now. So what we need to all get really good at is making sure we're on the wavelength and the vibration for the highest possible dimension. So the way we can do that is with access consciousness. So we say these stock phrases. So what energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow me to earn exorbitant amounts of money with ease? Anything that doesn't allow it times a godzillion, I destroy and uncreate right now. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, put, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So if you'd like to come up with a few of those for yourself, it's what energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow, and then you just fill in the blanks. So make it something positive and try not to use like limitation in it at all. So some people say the perfect XYZ, like the perfect car, the perfect man, but perfect is limited, you know, in a sense. It's one standalone thing, and it actually,
and it's vague for who?
Sorry?
It's as much as it's limiting, it's also so vague, because perfect for who?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, so try to keep it much more broad. In access consciousness, we try to eliminate restrictions, judgments, anything that's like, yeah, basically making you smaller. It's about expansiveness. So a good example would be, what energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow like a huge amount of happiness into my life? You know, that's quite loose and light. It's not defining exactly what it is that's going to make you happy, and it's a huge amount, not the most, because maybe you can't imagine the most. But when you tell the universe a huge amount, the universe knows what a huge amount is, you know. So that, keep it kind of light and loose. But yeah, I don't know if you want to have a few minutes doing that, coming up with that, and I will just say the statement over and over whilst you're thinking about what energy, space, and consciousness could you be. Yeah. So anything that doesn't allow it times a godzillion, I destroy and uncreate right now. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, bottle, nine shorts, boys and billions. What energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow me to enjoy onyx more than I can ever imagine? That's always a really good one. More than I can imagine, because actually sometimes our human mind can't imagine very much. So if you say more than you can imagine, it gives the universe the keys, the driving seat. What energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow oh god, I'm put on the spot now. I can't think of anything I want. That would
mine is kind of precise, but like to me it's my ultimate goal. Like,
does it work in this sentence? What energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow, what would you
allow me to live in a bush in Jamaica so I can sustain myself with my farming?
Okay, so like this is just a tip, but you take it or leave it. But in this modality, that is probably a little too spot on.
Precise.
Yeah, so maybe you could say something like, what energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow the land of Jamaica to sustain me? Like something wide open like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just a suggestion, but yeah, like you get good at it's about allowing, you know, it's like usually it's us that are saying, oh, but it has to be this and it has to be that and it has to be that, and if it's not quite right, it's, you know, we need to just allow for everything positive, of course. Although not even necessarily everything positive, because that itself is a limitation, and then I'm like tangling myself up in knots now. But like, you know what I mean, like because we can't make our lives perfect and only positive and happy and light, so how do we allow our response to whatever comes in, good, bad, and ugly, to just be interesting? What energy and space could I be that would allow that to be okay? Anything that doesn't allow it times a godzillion, I destroy and uncreate right now. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Like, it's that energy. So yeah, I'd encourage you all to have a look at access consciousness. It's a really, really cool mode, and I haven't used it for a long time, so I'm a bit rusty myself. But yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I forgot we've got a tarot reading now, haven't we? Yeah. What energy, space, and consciousness could I be that would allow this tarot reading to transform my life? Anything that doesn't allow it at times right now. Goodbye. Yeah, man. No pressure. No pressure, Amo.
For you and anyone else who's listening, I'm gonna pull a few cards. More than yes. Okay. So the first card that came out was the Four of Pentacles. Basically, this one is about owning and being aware of what you have and what you can, like your capacity and your what you have, basically. And then we have the Seven of Swords. This one is about leaving behind what no longer serves you. Don't be afraid of leave behind. Like, run. It's a race, okay? If it doesn't help your growth, leave it behind. So be aware of what you own. Be aware of what you need. Be aware of what is important and good for you. Leave the rest behind.
Love that.
We have another message here. Queen of Wands. The Queen attracts. And Wands is fire energy. It's passion. It's sensuality. It's everything that is aligned with your higher self. So you are going to attract it. You are going to find some kind of balance, equality, equity in the situation. especially if you stop looking at the past, you're gonna have pleasant surprises. So basically, focus on where your higher self wants to grow, and you are going to attract all of those blessings towards you.
Nice.
We have a third message here. Page of Pentacles and the Hierophant. This one suggests the Page of Pentacles. So pages are making plans. They are analyzing. They are thinking about what they could do, what's happening before they even take action. And we have the Pentacle here, so it's tangible energy. And then we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is like the wise woman of the village. Everyone go towards her for advice or ideas or suggestion. So basically, this message is telling you, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for a new idea. Don't be afraid to ask for guidance that will help you take action in a more wisely way, in a sense that don't throw yourself in there without making plans, and don't be afraid to make your research before you take a step forward, basically.
I love that, especially for this moon, because Geminis have this, I want to know a little bit about everything, and Sagittarius has this, I want to go deep with one thing, which makes total sense with that last message. It's like, do a bit of both, you know, be smart. Don't just dive in with your Gemini self, but take that Sagittarian energy and know what you're diving into.
Yeah, and when you think about it, Gemini have a really social butterfly kind of energy in general, and Sagittarius, as you said, they go more in depth, so it creates some kind of balance.
Yeah, man, I like that as well, because, you know, we've got this Venus in Leo giving us more like capacity to get deep relationships. I think that's where we can find that the idea about going to the wise woman and seeking help, you know, that's how we create communities. That's how we get to know our neighbors and our wider community, by being like, yo, I got this little problem. I'm sure as another human you can relate. Let's pool our knowledge and work out how to help me. That's great. Oh, I loved this. Thanks, Amu.
You're so welcome.
We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Lord knows what, some type of new moon. Is it Cancer? No, new moon in Virgo? Could be. We'll let you know. But yeah, don't forget about us. We're here every 2 weeks, every Sunday, to guide you.
New moon, about new beginning, about setting bold intention, about looking into the future.
Yeah, I love me some new moon. I love me some full moon now.
Yeah.
Doing circles has really made me enjoy the full moon. I was a bit like, I want to set intentions all year and do nothing on the full moon. But actually, when you do both, it just gives you that yin and yang. You know, you can't be productive all month. You have to.
Yeah.
Times.
It's true. And it kind of gives you a time, like, you know, when you set goals and then you reach full moon, you have time to reflect on the goal that you set 2 weeks ago. Is it still aligned? Is it still applying? Did you complete it? So you have this kind of acknowledgement about like what you did in the past 2 weeks and what you should or shouldn't do regarding of the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. Yay, little moonologies over here. All right, my darling. Well, thank you. Take care. Have a lovely evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Well done.